Hello and welcome to Courage to Overcome podcast. I talk about emotionally toxic people and relationships from a biblical and psychological perspective. I also upload inspirational and motivational content. So today's topic is how to get the narcissist to do what you want. We don't want to fall into the same sin of control and manipulation just like the narcissist, but there are things you can say that will get the narcissist to make the right decision. Narcissists are prone to making really bad decisions because of their personality traits. They don't like to take advice or counsel. They're proud and arrogant. They think they know everything, and they don't. If you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, you will know that they always like to have the upper hand. They always exert control. It's like they're always on the offensive and you're on the defensive. But there are ways that you can have the upper hand. You can, for once, be on the winning side. The narcissist is a control freak and wants to take over and control your life and everything around them. Not only that, they don't like to be told what to do. They feel like they are unique and special and very intelligent. No one knows more than them. Because of the way the narcissist thinks, he does not like to take advice because he feels like he knows it all. So how can you get the narcissist to do what you want? Well, you can persuade the narcissist to do what you want. Now, before we talk about that, I want to address the difference between to manipulate, to persuade, or to coerce. So the difference, to persuade, according to dictionary.com, is to prevail on a person to do something as by advising or urging, to induce, to believe by appealing to reason or understanding, to basically convince them about something. And then manipulate is to manage or influence skillfully, especially in an unfair manner, to adapt or change accounts, figures, etc. to suit one's purpose or advantage. And to coerce is to compel by force, intimidation or authority, especially without regard for individual desire or volition. So I think coercion and manipulation are kind of like devious and very intimidating and not really very good. But to persuade someone is basically to just convince them to do something by appealing to reason or understanding. Manipulation, I believe, is also making someone feel bad about something or feel bad about themselves in order to get them to carry out a person's desires or someone's wishes. That's the way I see it anyway. Now, having explained the differences, let's get into how to get the narcissist to do what you want. So, number one is to recommend an activity that prominent people that he admires like to do. For example, if you want to go to the cinema to watch a particular film and he doesn't want to watch a particular film, he wants to watch something else. So you could say that someone he admires watched the film that you want to watch and has said some great things about the film and have encouraged people who have certain attributes will enjoy the film. Certain attributes, like certain good attributes that, that the narcissist would want to be a part of. We all know that narcissists like to identify themselves with people of a higher social status. They like to identify with the wealthy, influential, and successful. So if someone he admires has watched a film, he's going to watch that also. So, of course, you would have done your homework and researched the influential people he admired that has watched the film sometime earlier. Even probably mentioning it oftentimes in passing, that this particular person really loves this film. So when you do go to the cinema, he might even suggest you go to watch that film because you've already mentioned it quite a few times that particular person that he admires likes watching that film. So you could use this tactic for going to restaurants or going to the opera, in those particular instances. So number 2 is be vehemently, adamantly against a particular decision, and they will choose that particular decision that you are particularly against. For example, there are 2 directions, right and left, and you want him to go right. So you will try and convince him to go left and tell him he's made a bad decision. If he goes right, that's a foolish decision. If he goes right, just really be insistent that he takes your direction only. Narcissists don't like people telling them what to do. They always like to be in control at all times, even if it means making a bad decision. They don't care as long as they're in control. So he's not going to listen to your advice. I guarantee you, he will choose the right. Some people may say, well, are you not being like the narcissist? Are you not using manipulation? Well, I don't see it that way, but it's up to the individual whether they want to do this. Narcissists are prone to making decisions which negatively affects you and the whole family. And guess who they're going to blame their decisions on? Yours truly, of course. If you are fed up of them making bad decisions and being blamed for it later, then you could use this tactic. For example, I remember a situation some years ago. My husband at the time was thinking of planning an event. When he told me about it, I was totally against the idea. I told him we didn't have the money. It was a bad idea. I tried to persuade him not to, just persuade him against it. We actually quarreled about it. And he decided he wasn't going to listen to me at all. He decided that he was going to go ahead with the venture, even though we didn't have the money. He did not have the money for it. He borrowed money from friends and from the church. It's almost as if he wanted to prove that he could and would accomplish this. I had no doubt that he could accomplish this. I mean, he's very good at planning events and stuff like that. It's just that we didn't have the money for it at the time. But he didn't want to listen. So, went through the whole process, planned the event. The event was a great success. And, he bathed. He was so pleased. He bathed in the compliments and accolades from many people who attended the event. But then later on, it was discovered that because we had spent so much money on the event, there was no money to pay for the rent for the church. And because we couldn't pay the rent, we were evicted from the premises. It was really, really a horrible experience. Also, he couldn't pay back the money he borrowed. And the church members started to leave the church. And it was really a big issue, really a big issue. And there was so much distrust from the church members. They really felt betrayed because there were some decisions that he made that he didn't even inform the board or anything like that. He just made those decisions. And the church never fully recovered. And this is all because of bad decisions. So, if I had known about this tactic at that time, because at that time I didn't even know that I was even married to a narcissist. So, yeah. So, I think it's wisdom. Sometimes it is wisdom to use these tactics to avoid major decisions that could negatively impact you or your family. Okay, there's another technique or there's another tactic, but it is bordering on manipulation. So, I'm not too sure about this one. I've never used it at all because it does seem manipulative. But I will talk about it here. So let him believe that anything that you want him to do, that it's his own idea. For example, if you have a plan for something, tell him about it, but make it as if you got the idea from something he said. For example, you can, say something like, oh, remember you said we would go to Italy next year for our holidays? You come up with such great ideas, don't you? That's so funny, yeah. So, but that one is it's bordering on manipulation a bit. So, I'm not too sure about that. Yeah, so that concludes this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.